Sanibonani nonke emakhaya, and welcome to yet another episode of Monday reTsene with Pretoria Psychologists. My name is Violet Phooko, and today we'll be talking about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is known as one of the most common human rights violation. Now, what is gender-based violence? Gender-based violence is where you have a predator who's usually male who violates the rights of women, girls, or people who fall in the group that is known as vulnerable. Now, there are different contexts in which gender-based violence can take place. Let's explore some of them. The first being a relationship such as a non-partner violation, in which you don't necessarily know this person and this person can be classified as a stranger. The second being an interpersonal relationship where someone is known as a colleague or a friend, and there is some kind of relationship where that person then violates you in the context of the relationship. And the one that is most commonly known to us is the intimate partner violation, where someone you are in a romantic relationship with then violates you. Let's get into the types of abuse. I'm going to talk about the three most common and the one that we seem to neglect the most. The first being physical abuse, where someone physically beats you, and usually the evidence is physical. So you will have a bruise, broken rib, or but there's some kind of physical evidence where someone physically violates you, whether it be a pinch or a beat. The second one being emotional abuse, which most people don't recognize because it's not as easily available to be seen, such as physical, but has the same consequences. This is in a situation where someone makes you feel less than. Someone takes away your power by making you feel powerless and by making you feel less than, by taking away your power as an individual, by breaking you down, by telling you things that no person should hear, by telling you things that they know will break you down and will make you submit to that person, whether voluntary or involuntary. The third being sexual. This is a situation in which someone tricks you, manipulates you, or intimidates you into sexual activity, whether it be penetration or non-penetration, but against your will, or to someone that is either underage or unable to understand the act of the sexual encounter, or unable to understand the concept of consenting because of their age or their illness or whatever they may be going through, such as they are drunk or they are under the influence or drugs or other mediums, and they cannot give legal consent. Remember, legal consent is when someone is of age, we will say 18 or older, they understand what is happening and they give full consent without any coherence, being tricked or being manipulated in any way into the act. And the last one that is not commonly spoken about is economic abuse, where someone uses your economic status, they use money against you or take your money or your ability to participate in the economy against you to gain some kind of gain over you, or to gain some kind of power over you. Now, let it be known, gender-based violence does not always happen as we see it in movies, where there's a specific pattern and we always say the victim should have seen it, which is wrong. There is no such thing as the victim should have seen it. So I'm going to give you two examples that are currently playing out on our TV screens without mentioning the show's names. The first being with a show that is playing on SABC1 with a character called Njeza Nonosipho. In this soapy, we can see where it plays out gradually. It starts with an argument, it starts with fighting, with bickering, a slap in the face, and it escalates to a point where Njeza ends up publicly beating Nosipho in public in front of the whole community without anyone being able to do anything. And then in the second example I'm going to give you, where there is no particular pattern, where according to my observation, it just sparked out of the blue, as in a show that is recently on Showmax with a character called Hlomo Nomngcele, where everything was going fine, and out of the blue, because of a certain thing that happened, which we would all argue that it was not warranted, where Nele then goes and physically beats Shlomo up to a pulp because of behavior that he didn't approve of. Now let's deal with this. What do you do when you know of someone who is in an abusive relationship? Refrain from telling them what to do in their relationship. Whatever you do, do not tell your friend to leave. Do not tell your friend that they will end up dead. I know you care and you want to do something, but by doing that, you may potentially be pushing your friend or whoever you know is in that situation towards the perpetrator. So then what do? You give them options. You give them ways to get help, i.e. you tell them a way to get professional help. People can get professional help by contacting SADAG, by contacting FAMSA, by contacting Lifeline. Those are the free South African counseling services that we know. We here at Pretoria Psychologists also offer monthly free support groups in which anyone, anywhere can join as they happen online. And also to understand that, I know I've mentioned this before, but it's important to reiterate that men can also be victims of gender-based violence. Now, in a recent event where we saw a popular person, media personality confess that she had also gone through a situation like that and tried to go report it and was turned away from by the police, we also need to know where else to go, to not just give up and say, I tried to report this and it didn't happen. It's important that you ask for help by first going to the doctor or to the clinic to have a medical report. Medical report stays longer and can be used later on in case you decide or to have or to be brave enough to report the incident. Remember, no one asks to be a victim, and we should also pay attention to the perpetrators, because to be honest, in South Africa, there's a lot of issues, not just by men, but by females as well, that we go through and that we are taking out on the wrong people at the wrong time. Not saying that gender-based violence is correct. Under no circumstances is it acceptable. That's it from me. Have a lovely evening and enjoy your festive. Be safe and know where to get help. Thank you.